Well, how are you folks doing? Let me thank you guys for showing up. We had a couple more people and stuff and everything subscribe to the channel a couple of weeks ago, I guess. I just saw them today, so you guys see people that want to come and watch our show. We here.
Y'all can always donate. Now remember that.
We here, we here, we moving on up. We ain't got to the east side yet, but we moving on up.
I thought it was the north side.
In the north side, oh okay.
Chicago is the north side. That's the best
Chicago, the
side.
north side, yeah, they are. Yeah, north side or Lakeshore Drive, shit. Got the Jews out there on Lakeshore Drive with all that money. Anyway, people, we are here. We got a fool in the White House on Taco. He is a crazy ass fool. I don't know, man. He never ceased to amaze me. He is an absolute fool. And
What he do, Ed? What he do?
well, he done already the hit the whole world with a tariff. He got a global tariff now. He said he can enact any tariff that he want to enact. And then he got mad at because somebody from the audience and stuff said, but why are you doing this and stuff? Because the Supreme Court already told you to know. And then he said, damn it, it's 15%. And then he done pissed a bitch and everything with the European Union. So y'all need to step up and take care of y'all own defense and all that other stuff. So the European Union said, okay, we ain't buying your jets. So we buying the jets that we produce in our continent. And he got mad. He told him, man, you tell them they better not buy nobody else's jets and shit. We, he, now he done beat them up and everything, told them that they need to step up and take care of their own defense. And then when they go out and say, okay, we're going to buy our own jets and stuff from somebody else called Trump. Trump jet, they done put a kill switch on their jet. You can't buy no parts for them. He beat them up because they want to go out and buy their own jets.
Ed, it took Biden 2 years to straighten all his bullshit out. 2 years.
It's gonna take whoever comes in there the next time. It's gonna take them a hell of a lot longer than that to straighten this mess out than this man done did. He is a trip. I can't believe it. He has gone absolutely out of his damn mind. And I don't know what's wrong with the American people. Ain't nobody said hardly nothing. They ain't spoke up. They ain't
Ed,
said shit.
Ed, you already said, man, the doggone United States is like a big carrier, bruh. A big old showboat, cruise ship. That sucker it takes a long time for that sucker start feeling that turn.
I understand.
And
But
these people have not felt it yet. Some of them are feeling it, a lot of them feeling it, but it ain't felt really
well,
hard yet.
well, our boy Costco that already said we suing Trump. We ain't suing the American people. We gonna sue Trump.
Well, there's one
But
guy won a suit. He won a suit. He sued Trump.
yeah, that's what he said. That's what Costco said they gonna do. They gonna sue Trump. Since he the ultimate person that out there that he done told the Supreme Court that he don't give a shit about them. And they ain't got to come to his State of the Union. They can stay their asses at home.
Mm.
That nigga's a trip, man. I
They
can't
might
believe
not even televise it.
it.
He keep on, CBS will televise it. C-SPAN will televise it.
Oh man.
Fox News will televise it.
The rest of them scared, man. The rest of them scared to televise anything. They after that fiasco with Colbert, they shit. We we can't televise nothing now. Because Trump
You
might
can't
sue
answer
us.
no. You can't answer no questions. Not no serious questions.
Oh no, no, no! Because he'll tell what enemy you stupid. Next person. I tell you, I'm just enamored at these folks around there that they haven't got their shit together and just told that man, so we ain't gonna do none of your news conferences at all. The only person you can have is Fox if that's what you want because they will put up with that bullshit. But we ain't gonna even do it. We just gonna listen to what Fox got to say, and then and Fox gonna put him up there, and all they got to do is do their newscast from Fox because that's what the heck happened. That's all they're doing. They can the Fox News show, whatever they got on there, that's what they're gonna talk about. Deal with Fox. Y'all ain't got to show up. Really, you don't. You spending money to have CBS, NBC, ABC, and the rest of those news agencies to come up. You wasting your money. So save some money and just don't send anybody there. That's watch Fox.
Because you ain't gonna ask no. You ain't gonna be able to ask no questions.
Right, you know.
They're not
If you
gonna
don't,
even. They're not gonna even call you out, so
if
you
you
can
don't,
ask the question.
if he doesn't like what you're saying, next person. You are irrelevant. Next person. Oh man, this time has a trip. But they still talking about that he having a difficult time. Ted. They say his health is going down. He came down here to Rome, Georgia last week, and he got up on the stage and made a fool out of himself. And you don't know anything about Georgia here, but Rome, Georgia is up in Marjorie Taylor Greene's district, and he was up there, and he was at a school and everything, and they said he barely had 300 people and stuff in their daggone crowd.
Damn.
Now, we got a senator and stuff here who's running, Democratic senator running finally for election, and he had 2,000 people at his rally, and Trump couldn't even get 500 people.
They ain't saying that on the news.
Yeah, and now the we have a unique situation and stuff here, Ted. The Republicans and stuff, they got the governorship, they got the Secretary of State, they have almost all of the top officials and stuff here. The state are Republicans. So when Trump came down here a couple of weeks ago and sent his Department of Justice and the FBI and Tulsi Gabbard and stuff here with her stupid stuff down here to steal Fulton County's voting records and everything, it pissed the state off because they didn't even contact the Secretary of State down here because they are Secretary of State is in charge of the election.
Hmm.
They ain't saying nothing to them about coming down here and taking them daggone records. So what the Secretary of State did and the state of Georgia has done is they hired them a private investigative system and stuff to find out how can they do something against the Department of Justice and the FBI and everything for what they did. Did they do something illegal or whatever? If they did, they're going to file a case against them. I don't know what they're going to do about it, but supposedly they're going to file a case against if they find any wrongdoing that they got the warrant and stuff illegally or whatever, which they're saying they did. They got the warrant illegally. Then they're going to force the feds and stuff to bring all those voting records and stuff back because they belong to the state of Georgia and not the federal government. So we got a mess going on down here, and Donald here he's just walking around and thinking people are going to follow him around and they're going to do what the hell he want to do because he's the president. And he actually said that I'm the president. I can do what the hell I want to do. He's the man. So anyway, I got something else to say and stuff at the end of the show and everything that I want some people and stuff. I'm gonna put a video up and everything about something that happened here in Marietta, Georgia, that the news media and stuff is not saying anything about it at all. There was a young black guy, black kid and stuff. I think he was 21. He was a student at Georgia State University. They found him in the one of the parks here in Marietta, Georgia, and he was hanging from a tree. And they said that he committed suicide.
Mm.
And nobody said anything about it. Ain't nobody news people said anything about it, and they hiding it. So I'm gonna put the
Well,
video up.
there was a guy in Wisconsin, the same thing happened.
Oh man, yeah, they hiding this stuff. The police department said it was a suicide
And
because
they
they.
said the same thing in Wisconsin.
Oh man. Well, there's something wrong with his family because their family hasn't said anything about it at all. They said that they're just trying to gather up some money and stuff and everything to bury their son. But they did do an autopsy and stuff on him. So the police said that they're waiting on the autopsy to come back to determine and stuff what happened. But as far as they're concerned, the boy went out in the park and hung himself from a tree. So anyway, that was a mess there. I didn't. I saw that on one of my news folks and stuff and everything, and I'm gonna post that up there stuff on our site and everything so people can see it and be able to look at it. It's kind of a horrible story.
You
What
know,
else? What else you got?
well, I was talking to my granddaughter. She's 18. And I was telling her, asking her questions about how do you get your information and what's going on, because, when I check for AI and information, when I used to go on Google, I used to get Google. Now I get Gemini or some shit. And and Google was pretty reliable, it was pretty right on. But now when you ask for information, and a lot of times that spared me from going to the library. So when I'm doing my research, I might have to go to the library, look up some magazines, find out and verify, or go on try to find it in some kind of magazine information. Nowadays, and people, you can't rely on anything. And we said this before, but it's really serious now because I'm thinking, I'm thinking that they've been doing this for centuries, nullifying people's history, different groups of people's history, and made up history. Now we know, and I'm just this right here is going off to another tangent, but we know from history that the cowboys were really black men who took care of cattle. They didn't call them steersmen or cattlemen. They called them cowboys. They used to take care of the steers, the horses, and all that, and they called them, because they used to call, or some of them still do call black men boys. So you taking care of the cows, we calling you cowboys. So they start, they dressed with their hat, cowboy hats on, and they gear for their pants and all that. And so it became very popular, obviously, because white men started calling themselves cowboys. And they made millions and millions and millions of dollars make doing them cowboy movies.
Yep.
Because if you look at the history of those little small towns that the white folks had built up, it's supposed to be built up themselves. They were all dressed in suits and ties, most of them, because they came from Europe. Most of those people, they weren't cowboys. They came from Europe. And so they just started copycatting off of black folks. And some Latinos. Latinos was dressed up with the same garb too, that was from Mexico. And really actually here in Texas and in Arizona and all that stuff. And they rustled up cattle too. So so the thing is that they made up all these stories about the Lone Ranger, and the real Lone Ranger was a black man. He was a ranger who was by himself. The reason why they call him the Lone Ranger because he was by himself, and he brought I don't know how many, pretty much over 100 prisoners. Rewards was out for him and everything. And that movie, The Lone Rangers, was based on that little series, The Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger.
So, 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 so the thing is that they have made up so many things about them. You can't believe shit what they've done. You really can't. I'm almost in the belief that they didn't even write up the they didn't even write up the Constitution. I think it was laid out already by black people, and they just copied it. And a lot of that stuff that they got was from over in Europe, and the European people had got it from African people. I'm
Got a
telling you,
question.
bro.
Got a question.
What?
What did your granddaughter say when you asked her that question?
I
What
didn't
she
know the
got?
answer. I didn't know the answer. To be honest with
You,
you, I was doing all the talking.
oh, so you didn't let her ask to tell you where she got her news from?
No, I just kept on talking. I didn't want to hear what she had to say.
You know what she has to say?
I don't like to know too much information on what they're doing, bro.
You know, okay.
That's where I am. I stay out of their business. I stay out of my kids and my grandkids' business because I just give them suggestions, not advice, suggestions, and my experiences. I was telling them when I was your age, we didn't have cell phones. Gas was 32 cents a gallon. I could buy a loaf of bread for 50 cents. I can buy a 3-year old car for $1,500.
Hell, a brand new car only costs 4,500. They could pay cash for that now.
And I said, I said, the whole thing now is about making that money, monetizing. You ain't gonna get by with $20 an hour. You gotta be making 35, 40, $50 an hour. So that means you gotta have the right career where you can make that 35, $40, $50 an hour. Because when I was coming up as a teenager, you can get a 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom apartment for $175 a month. Now a 1 bedroom apartment costs you $1,900.
More than that. In some places, you can't get a apartment, even a studio apartment in New York for less than 5 grand a month. That's a studio. That's what, it ain't got no whole lot of stuff in there. You ain't got no real kitchen in there. That's a studio. 5,000 in New York City.
And the thing is, It's all, you know, this is not capitalism. This is greed. Greed. But you know, the one thing that I did want to talk about, and I'm gonna throw some numbers at the people. In 1960, there were 60 million people, 65 million people working, but we only had 200,000 people, 200 million people, less than almost, yeah, about 200 million people working. I mean, living in America. Now we have doubled our population, doubled our population. We got over 440 million people in this country. That's not counting all the documented people here. That's about 50,000, 50 million. So, so the point is that when we're talking about competing, we're talking about competing, not manufacturing, because we can't do that. We don't have enough workers. We don't have enough workers. 80 million people go to school in this country, from kindergarten on up to college. Over 75 million people are retired. Do the numbers. We don't have the people. China has 1.5, India 1.4 trillion people.
Billion people.
Billion people, I'm sorry. Billion people. And both their workforce is over 900 million people. They have the workforce. We don't have the workforce here.
Well, I think, Ted, we got enough people to do the major stuff that we need to get done around here. There are enough people around here. They just have not been educated. They have not educated the people and stuff to the point to where they can handle professional jobs, big
Ed,
time jobs that's coming right
Ed,
now.
what you're talking about, see, here's the thing, and maybe you might take it a different
I'm taking a
point.
different way, but go ahead.
But here's the thing. There's a thing called essential workers. Those people get trained and they get their certificates. They might just have a high school degree and they're working in all kinds of little essential worker jobs. Those jobs are not going to pay you, if you're lucky, $20 an hour. Those are essential workers. And we already made the statement that $20 an hour is not going to get it. Now, because of inflation and all the costs involved, and apartment or a house or a car and all that, $20 an hour ain't gonna get it. Those essential workers, a nurse can make anywhere between 75 and 100 plus a year if they do a lot of overtime. But they just downgraded their profession. So they classified as regular essential workers. So you get all these essential workers, hospitality, retail store workers, uh, police officers. The average police officer make $40,000 a year. These are all essential workers. The people that's working for your state and local governments, that they be lucky if they're making $45,000, $50,000 a year doing your street work and all that. Most of the people that make the money is the contractors. And then they hire people and pay them pennies, nickels, and dimes. So the manufacturing, and if you're working in manufacturing, you already established that, Ed. You said it. Most of these people, they have to be trained and have knowledge, and this is technical stuff, because most of this stuff now is IT stuff. They have to know all this stuff, technical stuff. Machines is doing all the work now. So so all of those things is essential workers, and then you have your local people that's working. You know, they'd be lucky if they're making $20, $25 an hour. We only have 165 million people that's working. So, why did I bring that up?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out uh, what does their pay have to do with the
Well,
amount
what I'm
of.
saying is that when when you will have 800 people who works in your country, you have more essential workers or people that you can pay less. Here, we don't have that. They might be doing technical stuff that's high level stuff, but they ain't paying them. They're not paying them. They'd be lucky if they make it in China. If they make 25, $30,000, they doing good. Here, if you're making 25, 30,000, you damn near in poverty.
But what does the money that they have to do with the amount of people that we have in this
It's
country?
all about
Who,
lifestyle, bro. It's
but
it's
what,
all about classism.
but
This
what
is
does
what this
that,
is all about.
you said that there was not enough people in this country for the jobs and stuff that we have. That's what I'm asking for. Not how much they getting paid. Do we have enough people in this country for the jobs?
Well, the thing is the manufacturing, most of the manufacturing is done overseas, and it's cheaper, way cheaper than being here.
Correct.
So,
I,
so those textile industries are overseas. Those manufacturing furniture companies are overseas.
mhm.
Those apparel things are overseas. Everything, those three things right there alone is millions of jobs. Millions of jobs. But they're overseas. The only thing these companies do is they have them manufactured over there, they ship them over here, and then they have sell places where they sell their product. They don't make nothing. They have all that stuff they have made overseas because it's cheaper labor. Why should I give you $25 an hour and then give you benefits, give you a 401k, and give you insurance when I can do the same thing over there and don't even cost me $20 an hour? You're gonna cost me $50, $60 an hour, or whatever the cost may be for all of those benefits. When I can take it over to some other country and pay you less, pay them less. They're not bringing that shit over here, bro. They ain't bringing
but
manufacturing back
but
here.
you still haven't answered the question and stuff.
What?
you
I did answer the
you
question.
no, you didn't. You telling me how much they make. I don't know what. No, I'm telling you that there's enough people here
I ain't
to for
talking
the
about the
job.
people. I'm talking about the corporations, Ed.
You
Did you
just
just hear
said
what I just said?
we just said that you don't have enough people in this country for jobs, and I'm telling you that we do. But you telling me how much they get paid. You telling me that they don't make but $45,000. I'm asking you amount of people here because I'm telling you that the people are here, but they are not qualified. They are not qualified. They have not been educated. They have people
I
here
do
to
not
do these
agree to
jobs.
that shit. I do not agree
Yeah,
to
but
that
I
shit.
do. I do.
I do not agree to that.
I do. There
You
are
might
people here.
have you might have about 20% of the people that's not qualified in this country.
Now, when let me throw something out here at you. When in 2010, when Obama got the Affordable Care Act passed, they knew at that time when they did that they needed more doctors, they needed more nurses, they needed more medical professionals and stuff in this country. And because they don't have enough people in here who are qualified for these jobs and stuff, they had to go overseas and get them. That's why we got these foreign doctors, foreign nurses, and foreigners and stuff
Ooh,
all in
I'm
our
glad you
medical
brought
field.
that up. I'm glad you brought that up. You remember the Baki case?
You know what?
The Baki case.
Yeah.
You know that guy took that thing all the way to the Supreme Court. They were allowing ethnic and minority people to go to medical school. This guy got turned down because he wanted to go to this particular school and he took it to the Supreme Court. And so, therefore, because what they were doing was they were replenishing the doctors. And a lot of it was racism because they didn't want a lot of black doctors. There were more people that was trying to become doctors in the 70s and the 80s, 60s than ever before. And they stopped it. They stopped it.
Now, now you're done going back in history. I'm talking about the 21st
I'm trying
century.
to tell you, you just said that there wasn't enough qualified. What I'm trying to tell
there,
you is
there wasn't.
it's a
Not, eh,
systemic racism
not,
prejudice
not,
that
not,
stopped all of
not,
these people from becoming doctors, becoming nurses, all of that. They
okay.
stopped it.
And you just answered my question. You just answered my question. It's just that we don't have enough qualified people in this country. Now, how they became unqualified, that's irrelevant at this point. There are people in here for jobs, they just not qualified.
Well, that's because they didn't educate. We didn't educate
And
our
I
own
just
people.
said that they have not educated the people, and there's a lot of people in this country who are uneducated. They are
They're
sitting
not
up there
uneducated,
doing
Ed.
meaning,
Ed,
meaning.
Ed. I beg the difference, bro. I beg the difference. We got more people with high school, college degrees. However, there were people that were trying to get into these schools. Right now, the majority of the people in these Ivy League schools are immigrants.
Okay,
They are on visas to
right,
go to colleges here
right.
because they are not allowing black other Americans to go into these colleges because of money.
Okay, then that you answered my question again.
These people are sending their people here to get educated and they
Correct,
paying for it.
correct. That is absolutely right. And we do have people in this country and stuff who can take these jobs over, but they aren't qualified for whatever reason, whether they didn't go to school, they were discriminated against, or whatever. There are people here, if we had have educated them, would have been ready to take over these jobs, but they are not. And that is the thing that is going to be the downfall of this country because we have not educated our people and stuff in this country and stuff. There are a lot of people out there, all they qualify for is mopping the floors, going out there and being CNAs at nursing homes, and that's it. They are not qualified to be a nurse. They are not qualified to be an RN, and they have not qualified themselves to do that. And you're right that they did discriminate against them because they don't have the money They dumping all these big bills on them and everything, and we even got doctors and stuff now in this country right now who have student loans and stuff that equal all the way up to a quarter of a million or a half a million dollars and stuff that they have to pay back in student loans. But some of these folks and stuff who came from outside this country who did that, they are paying back this money, but they came here and they got themselves educated. We did not do that
for our people.
for for whatever reason, for whatever reason. But there are people and stuff here. There are enough people here for the job, but they aren't qualified for them. That was my
Well,
point.
we're talking about. I heard a lady say this, and this makes sense because that was my reason why I went to college. Is that I went to college to have a white collar job,
Correct. And most of us did to
but
have a
some
white collar
people
job.
go into college just to get an education. They take liberal arts, philosophy. They take, that's not going to qualify you for a job. It might give you a college degree, but then you can be smart enough and and get in and learn the job and do the job. I went to school to be an accountant. So the point is that all I'm saying is that there are people right now, when we're talking about white collar jobs that are professional jobs, are like doctors, lawyers, engineers, those types of jobs. But the point is that when you get a liberal arts job, that right now is not training you for working as a white collar worker in the corporate world. You're not prepared. You got people that get a business degree, but they don't do any kind of emphasis or specialists. They
Okay.
just get a regular business degree and they just take the regular course. They don't specialize, but you have people that specialize in marketing. You got people that specialize in accounting. You got people that specialize in management. You got people that specialize in all of those things. So therefore, you are white collar ready, and that's why in the '80s it
Uh,
was a big deal to get an MBA. Now they laugh, they don't laugh at you, but they sort of kind of, it's not as valuable as it used to be because
math,
this technology then took over, bro.
math, and science. We were not given enough math and science. We were just given these bullcrap courses, and you're right, liberal arts, and to get us through to get a degree. And we figured we go there, get a liberal arts degree, and graduate, we can get a job because if we had a college education and stuff on your resume, that people were going to hire you. But we done gotten into the 21st century and stuff, and that ain't gonna work. Most of your jobs and stuff now is specialized. Anything you do, there's a specialty and stuff involved in it. You got a refrigerator. Now you got people who can make the outside and the box of it, but the inner workings and stuff on the inside of that daggone thing, you got to have another expert, a specialist to come in to deal with that. Or if you go to a doctor, I got shit, man, I got 7 doctors because each one of them got a specialty. I got an endocrinologist. I got a they go a primary care physician. And you got to go to a primary care physician so he can tell you where to go to. I, this shit is crazy. And no, and each one of these professors and stuff, with my primary care physician and stuff, he or she can only do so much. Well, I don't know anything else about that and stuff and everything. Now, if you got a bad foot, we got to send you to a foot doctor and everything because he specializes in feet. If you got something wrong with your leg or something like that, you got to send you to a leg doctor so he can specialize in your leg because I don't know anything about it.
Well,
Or you go to get a heart, you go in there and they man say, "Oh man, something wrong with your heart." Well, I'm gonna give you a referral to go to a heart specialist so you can deal with your heart. And then when you go to the heart specialist and everything, you can't see the actual heart specialist. They're gonna send you to these folks now that they have indoctrinated to be a physician's assistant, a PA. That's not even qualified to be a doctor. They're not a doctor, but they're almost a doctor. Then you got to see them before you can see the specialist. Everything specialized now.
you're right.
Everything. I'm going through this crap right now. They got specialists all over the place. I done acquired two more doctors. I got to get me a specialist. I got
Well,
a I got a pain in my back, and they said, "Well, I can't deal with the pain. All I can deal is find out what's wrong with your back. But if you want to stop the pain, you got to go to a pain doctor."
well,
Shit.
here's something that you have to look at, and I think we missed it. The American people, the government missed it, and they decided that they was going to bring in these other people that were trained somewhere else and let them become citizens and become medical doctors, nurses, all that. And I experienced that working in corporate world and working in different fields like insurance and all that. And I can remember that they brought a number of Filipino Philippine nurses here, and they brought all kinds of different doctors here from different countries. That's one thing. But the thing is that in my mind that we already know made establishment that of course they decided not to educate our people, but the one thing that they did when they got off when America got off the gold standard, they decided to go financial. We are the financial corporate world. We are we deal with all the finances around the world. People invest billions of dollars into our stock market all over the world.
And what you just said now is going to be our savior,
Well, this is the thing. This is what I'm getting to.
right? Those folks
The
that you
way
talking
it's
about now
set
to
up.
be our savior.
This is the way it's set up. Is that because trillions of dollars are being traded every day in the stock market,
In our stock market,
our stock market,
right?
and because of that is being done, the thing is what they're trying to figure out. Why do you think that they decided to, Dell's international computer company donated millions and millions of dollars in newborns $1,000, and then people can contribute to these kids, and by the time they turn 18, they will have close to $1 million in their account, and the parents can contribute. They will be able to follow that money. Now that's another way for these stock people to play with money, but that's a forced entry of giving the American children that's coming up now, knowing that the cost 2%, 3% every year inflation, they got a little head start. $1 million if they come turn 18 ain't gonna be a whole lot of money,
Mm-mm.
but
No,
that might help them. You
not by
know,
the time they get 18 or 21 years old. Nope, it's not.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But we have to. I would. right now, Ted, I would be leery of investing in any of that stuff and
Oh
everything
yeah, hell yeah.
because Trump is trying anything that he can get to steal some money. That's what he's
Steal some
doing.
money.
You want to steal some money. So if I'm telling our folks out there and stuff, and you guys, if Trump said he's gonna put $1,000 into their daggone, he gonna put $1,000, and you guys contribute more back to it. He gonna steal. He ready to steal that money. He getting his hands in that money. His sons is getting their hands into that money. So I
You're
would be
right.
afraid to put my money into that right now. But getting back to what we were talking about and everything, when people look at it and we are saying that that our financial institution is going to save us from a major collapse because right now our dollar is falling fast. People are not trading with American dollars hardly anymore. You got these BRICS nations and stuff who are trading out there, the oil trading in the 10 years ago, 5 years ago, any oil trade that was done using the dollar. Today, that's not it. Anybody who's trading in oil, if Russia's trading in oil, if they trading it with China or they trading it with India, they trading it with their own currency,
Well, it
not
was
the
called
U.S. dollar.
petrodollars.
Right, petrodollars, absolutely. The Saudi Arabia and all those Middle Eastern nations and stuff who had it, they coined that phrase, petrodollars. But they're not
But
doing it
here's the
now.
thing: what I was getting to cap it all off, we, the American people, or I should say the government, or even the American people, or whoever these finance people realize that the American people can get a house for 300,000, 400,000, have a job, and be a millionaire.
Yep,
They know this.
yep,
Your home can grow in 20 years
$1 million
from 300,000 to 700,000.
or a
Yo,
million.
yo, not only that, you have a 401k. And if you work on that job 20 years, 25 years, you're going to have 500 to $1 million in that account. So now you walk around as a millionaire with assets, a home, if you make your payments and everything goes well. Plus, you have insurance that you can actually borrow from. So now what they have realized that every person, not every, but 60% of the people in this country will be multimillionaires based just on that. 60% of the American people will be multimillionaires.
Now, you understand that fact, Mr. Upted, because you've been in the financial world for a long time and you understand that. But we have citizens out there, black folks and some white people and stuff, who do not understand that philosophy. You cannot get them to understand that their home is the most valuable thing in their portfolio, along with their 401k. You can't make them believe that. Some of them now are going in there and they're raiding their 401k. They're taking the money out.
The reason being is that not when you're making $20 an hour is not enough. So they
Well,
have
but I'm gonna have to give you. Well, tomorrow I'm gonna give you the financial planning of Mrs. Mary Faye Bishop, my mother.
you gotta say something.
You got to save something every day. If it ain't nothing but a nickel, save it. I got jars tied all over my house with coins, pennies, nickels, and dimes in it. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Then, what's your final word, my brother?
Well, people, I was thinking about this, and I watch a lot of YouTubes and TikTok and all these other little channels. And I look and I said, a lot of these people, all they're doing is talking about just dogging other people. Now, the stuff we're talking about, it might be kind of generic. Trust me, people, it's really not generic, but you have to do your own critical thinking and do your own research. But this is a conversation that's based on reality of things that you have to consider, the bigger picture. You can't just look, oh, okay, today is a good day. Okay, today is a good day. However, you also have to look at what's going to happen 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You can't just look. I mean, you're supposed to live for today, but also you got to plan for tomorrow, some kind of way. Now, some of us don't have to do that, but the point is that that's the way to do it. You should do that, and then you won't get into trouble because a lot of people like to spend money and waste money. You know, you see this cup right here? I can guarantee you there are people in their homes that have about 15 of these. Duplication. You only need one pair of blue jeans. You don't need five.
My thing is from what we've been talking about here is that the further you can look back, the further you can look forward. And that's what we're doing. We're giving people a history and stuff of where we started out and where we came to, just like we were talking about people who are qualified and stuff. We have to understand that what brought us to this point, that there were actions, there were political things that were going on that were systematically and stuff dumbing down our people.
Yep,
There were
absolutely.
systems set up, people, to make sure that we did not prosper. And right now we are seeing the effects of those systems and stuff we have.
Yes,
So now going forward and stuff and everything, if you understand where you came from and everything, then you won't go forward and repeat those same mistakes. And you understand why some people are doing what they're doing. Some politicians are doing what they're doing. Some uh, some of our educators and stuff are trying to educate our folks, even to the point and everything that there are probably teachers and stuff down there in Florida and stuff and everything who are educating their kids and stuff and everything, and it's totally against the policies and stuff of your state government.
absolutely.
Because he or she, whoever their teaching stuff is, if they teaching you something there, then and you know that the government and stuff said no, they can't do this, and they're doing it anyway and stuff. They are putting their jobs in jeopardy to make sure that you are educated. And when we were growing up, when our parents and stuff were growing up, there were people out there who put their livelihoods and their jobs in jeopardy to teach us because in slavery times, our people, it was illegal to teach a black person. You could not educate. You were breaking the law if you educated a slave and teach them how to read. And that's how we got through. That's how I got through. I learned how to read. My folks told me, say, "Hey, boy, you got to learn how to read. If you can read, you can do anything."
Absolutely.
So that's our thing, people. So hopefully you folks and stuff will get something from what we talked about here, and we're going to keep on saying what we got to say, and we're going to reach back in our history, and we're going to bring you back into the 21st century in any topic that we can talk about. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, and thank you so very, 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 very much and stuff for watching our show. And tell your folks out there, because I saw some white people out there, Ted, who is subscribing to our channel. Go ahead
Well,
on.
well,
We'll
white folks, I'm gonna tell you this right now. We're gonna tell the truth.
see,
Our perspective.
from our perspective,
They ain't
and
got
it,
nothing against you, but I'm just saying.
but it is the honest truth and everything, Ted, because as we could tell them and stuff, we saw this stuff happen, and we read about this when we were growing up, what they did to our foreparents, because most of you folks weren't realizing this stuff, but we ain't but about two generations and stuff from slavery. Two generations from slavery. Two. So some of our great grandparents and stuff probably were slaves. We're gonna leave you with that story. Thank you. Bye bye.